Hey everyone, and welcome back to Too Ambitious. I'm your host, Trish Lindo. This is a live series that celebrates Black women and women of color founders who are innovators, disruptors, and of course, too ambitious. So today I have an extraordinary guest. But first, I want you to show me some love in the comments. Give me some emojis. I want to see those heart emojis. I want to know how much you are enjoying the show. And I also want you to comment and tell me where you're joining me from, because today's guest is joining me all the way from Europe. So I hope that you have some family and friends who can join us today. And if you have family and friends from Europe, definitely share this link with them, because this guest, you are going to be blown away by her. So as I mentioned, today, the entrepreneur extraordinaire, Queen Elizabeth Ihowa, is here today. She's a global brand strategist and keynote speaker, and she is based in Paris, France. Yes, Paris, France. Queen is a driven businesswoman who excels at making a meaningful impact, not only on the world stage, but also with her exclusive clientele. She is really, really amazing, and I'm so excited for you all to meet her. Let's welcome Queen to the stage.
Oh my God, I feel so gassed by that intro. I am on top of the world right now.
Well, bonjour, Queen. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. I'm so happy to have you on the show. How have you
Thank
been?
you.
How's your day going?
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I feel privileged and honored to be on this show. I'm good. I mean, Paris is good. Everything's well. It's actually spring, so it's really sunny, and I'm enjoying it. So yeah.
I love that. Yes, spring. Okay. So can so our audience mainly is in the States. We do have a few people that are outside of the US, but can you give us a few words in French of welcome?
Ok, bonjour, bienvenue dans le show de Trish Lindo. On va parler d'ambition, on va parler d'entrepreneuriat, on va parler de femmes, on va parler de pouvoir, on va parler d'inspiration. Et donc, restez, et écoutez et soyez inspirés.
Oh, I love it. I have no idea what you said, but
Don't worry, it was
I
all love. It was all love.
I assume it was all amazing stuff. So thank you for that, Queen, and thank you for bringing your good energy on Too Ambitious today. I have known you for a couple years now. I don't know, 2 going on 3 years now. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, the time is inconsequential when you've met someone extraordinary as you. And Clarine is saying this was a fabulous introduction. Welcome, Queen. I'm looking forward to hearing this discussion. Thank you, Clarine. You
Thank
know,
you.
so we have so many people that are excited to hear what you have to say. So let's jump right in.
Yeah.
Well, you were born in Nigeria and grew up in Paris starting at age 10. Tell me a little bit about how did that experience shape the woman you are today?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So my life completely changed at the age of 10 when my family decided to pack our bags and move to a new country, a new culture, a new city where I don't even speak the language at the age of 10. So I was completely, it was a tough moment because you're a child and you're literally like, separated from your familiar,
Yeah.
so that was a tough moment that really shaped my life. And to give you a little bit of background, I grew up like in a very creative household. So my mom is a fashion designer,
Mhm.
and yeah, she's all into like the creative industries. And my dad is very educational oriented, so very an advocate, working foreign affairs. So I grew up in a household of very a mixture of like entrepreneurship spirit and the value of excellence in education and work ethic. So that is kind of that created like a solid foundation for me. And when I arrived in Paris, all that was just shaking. Like
Yeah, I
literally,
bet.
people would ask me, "What's your name?" Like, "Comment tu t'appelles?" I just don't know what to say. I just don't know how to respond. So I was just nodding my head and nodding like that. So that kind of like forced me to make a very, very big decision. And I think that is the biggest decision that shaped my entire life here in France. It was either I blend into the society, blend into the French culture,
Yeah.
blend in to what was expected of me as a
Right.
Black woman in Paris, or I stand out and I embrace my uniqueness and embrace the fact that I am not like you, but I have so much to offer, and who I am is really the is valuable. So I think you know it, you know exactly the decision I made. I decided to be like, I was like, I'm not going to blend in. I'm going to stand out, and I'm really going to be led by my values, my inspirations, and my aspirations, and create an
Yeah.
entire path for myself. Because in France, there are not many women, and I say women, Black women that look like me,
Yeah.
doing great stuff.
Yeah.
So I didn't had a lot of example growing up. So I had to now be like, you know what? We're just gonna go into this and we're just going to dream big. So that's how I started that's how everything shaped me, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, such a wonderful foundation, though it wasn't easy. I'm an immigrant myself, so I know what it's like to come to a country, you don't speak the language, you have an accent, and people tend to treat you a bit differently. So
Mhm.
at a very young age, you learn perseverance and how to push through, I commend you for that and sort of understanding that at such a young age. When
Mhm.
you were getting started in your career in Paris, you had a lot of opportunities, but one of the biggest ones was in the luxury industry, which checks out because you look luxurious, you are luxurious, but you also landed an opportunity at LVMH. Can you tell me a little bit about that and how that opportunity happened? Because it was a little bit different than just I just applied for the job.
Yes, because I've applied for a lot of jobs and I didn't get. Because on my resume, you can already see my name, and my surname doesn't sound French at all. So for sure that it was difficult. But the story is, so at that time, I had a very huge desire inside of me. The desire was to dream big and to do great things, because I'm the firstborn of my family. So we're five kids and I'm the eldest. So I have my brothers and my sisters looking up to me. Can be a little bit like of pressure, but looking up
Yeah.
to me to do things as possible. And then for them, they're like, okay, if Queen can do it, then I can do it. So I had this big vision, not only for myself, but also for my family. I was like, you know what, Queen, we want to do big things. So I was like, okay, I'm going to apply for the biggest, industry in the entire country, which is luxury and LVMH. So I applied for the job. I got an opportunity to do an interview. On that day, funny fact, the HR and I was dressed the same way.
No way.
So we had this like white, nice top and a black, down pants, and and I looked at her and she looked at me. I was like, oh, okay. And I took that as a sign that I was on the right path. For me, that was like a little bit whisper.
Yeah.
So going through this interview, a little bit of context. This is my first interview, like when I mean interviews, like my first serious like a 9 to 5 interview, and I had no professional experience prior to this. I had no experience in the luxury industry, no experience. And the luxury industry is a very selective world. So people that look like me, you don't see them as, in the management position. You see them maybe as consumers, but not in the management position making decisions. So I knew that I was going to, go step into like a barrier, and that I have to really break.
Right.
So we're just having a conversation with the person I was interviewing with, and she asked me a question, and she was like, "Okay, well, tell us more about your luxury experience and your professional experience." And I was
Mhm.
like, "I have none at all."
Yeah.
And however, I'm a content creator. However, I have a YouTube channel. However, I know the top creators in France. I know about the luxury industry. I started listing things I've been doing with my personal branding since the beginning of my career. So she was so impressed that she went onto my Instagram. She went onto my
Right
Instagram
then and there. Right then and there, right?
right there. And I was not expecting this because I thought maybe, she went onto my Instagram and she was scrolling onto my Instagram. She was like, oh my God, that's so amazing. You did this? I was like, yeah, I did it. And so the conversation shifted. It was no more about me not having professional experience. She didn't even care about that. She was so, interested in my story, in my personal brand and the things I could offer. And so that's how I got the job. And during the job, she also told me that I picked you because you stand out. You were so different from the other candidates. The other candidates had business schools, certificates, they had experience in the luxury industry, but what you brought was your uniqueness. So that was another whisper for me to tell me that, okay, Queen, you made the right decision and you're on the right path. So yeah, and that
Yes.
changed my life. That opportunity really changed
Yes.
my life.
Amazing. And I love that, showing up as your authentic self, does pay off,
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously you're walking in it, and as Clarine says, gems from Queen, dream big and do big things.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
That's what it's all about, so you learned all, that's kind of where you started, to learn about the importance of personal branding,
Yes.
so today, let's tell us a little about the work that you do with some of the
Yes.
founders and leaders and executives, on the world stage as a brand strategist. How did you sort of kind of take from that LVMH experience to building what you're building right now with some of your clients?
Yeah. Do you know, Trish, one of the things that makes me really mad, there's really one thing that makes me really mad and angry, is when I see so many people having dreams, projects, desires, like so many ideas, innovative ideas, and just because of the lack of knowledge and also the lack of community, the fear of rejection, the fear
Yeah.
of success, and the fear of being seen, they forget about all this.
Yeah.
Each they just stay into like a big pot and they just like close themselves into that and just follow a path that was just programmed for them to follow. That gets me so mad because when I think about it, I'm like the richest place on the planet, the richest place on the planet is the graveyard because that's where you have
Mhm.
so many people that have dreams and visions and projects
Right.
that didn't come to life because
Yeah,
of fear and so many things.
that's right.
So when I arrived in France, I had that as well. I was just like, oh my God, I had this fear of standing out because I'm like, I'm so different. My name sounds different. They're like, oh, you're queen and that. So I had to overcome that fear. And today, the work I'm doing is to help people pass that stage of being afraid,
Yeah.
but most importantly, in terms of like business wise, what I do is like I help professionals, founders that have incredible ideas that's going to change the entire world to craft that brand, a brand for themselves, because I'm all about brand strategy, craft a brand, package it so that we can present it to the world, solve a problem, and create impact. The same way I think of personal branding, it's the way I managed to package myself to be able to be valuable for opportunities. The same way I want to teach people, I'm teaching people to
Mhm.
package themselves, personal
Yeah.
branding or your own company, package it
Mhm.
well so that you can really, you not only solve problems, but also impact people around the world. So that's what I'm doing with my global clients. I have clients in Canada, US, Europe, and I'm able to now navigate this environment to help them to really create really outstanding brands. So I have clients in fashion, in beauty, in consumer
Mhm.
goods that are really creating innovative products to solve problems. Yeah.
Wow, that's truly incredible. What's the first thing that you do when you're working with a client? Like, what's the first step? So if somebody wants to work with you that may be watching right now, who wants to work with you, what is the first step that you take with them to get them started on really crafting a solid and effective brand strategy?
Yes. First thing first, I believe in humanity. So we're going to have a conversation where I'm not going to talk a lot. I don't talk a lot. I let you do the speaking because again, you are the visionary. You're the one that have the vision, and I respect that. I'm not a the visionaire. I am the person that is going to help you to like clarify the big picture in terms of okay, what do you want to achieve, and then we come up with strategy and we go down. So
Right.
what I do the first time I meet the clients, first of all, you're going to talk like, tell me what you do, why are you creating this, what's your why this is important to you. And I select my clients based on their why. I don't work with everyone because I believe that I'm not for everyone. So I'm really for the people that have a strong why and they really want to create something outside of themselves.
Yeah.
So we have this conversation first of all, and through that conversation, I try to now analyze and see, okay, how can we work together? So
Mhm.
usually we come up with objectives. Okay, I need help in this, help in that, and I am the person that creates the strategy. I create the global strategy for you, the big picture. I clarify so many things for my clients because usually founders and entrepreneurs, they're all over the place. They
Yeah.
have so many ideas. They want to do so many things because, of course, the vision is inside of them. So I understand that, right? So my
Yeah.
goal is it's I'm the outside person is like, okay, cool down. This is how we're going to do it. And most importantly, what is important for me is when I start a work with a client, we are going to go to the finish line. There's no giving up.
Yeah.
Like I always tell my clients, like, if you're thinking of giving up, I'm not the right person for you. Just that. If you were like, because I believe that there are destinies attached to what you want to create. There are purpose, there are people's next level of opportunity that are attached to what you're going to create. So we don't have the luxury to start something and then quit. That is not possible because then you're now like people are now losing so many prayers and so many answered prayers and so many visions and so many blessings in their life. So I make sure that my clients, we put an ecosystem systems into place, structures into place to help them to not only clarify their vision and clarify what we're trying to achieve, but also execute the vision.
Yes, absolutely. And I love that, Queen. And I love that you don't give up on your clients, that's it's kind of like working out sometimes when you're like, I want to get like a summer body, and everything like that. But then, a weekend after your muscles are so sore, you're like, I'm going to give up. I'm going to give
No,
up. There is no giving up, people.
there
We,
is not.
there's
There
no
is
giving
not.
up.
As long as you have breath,
Yeah.
and I know, as long as you know why you're doing that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the power of having someone that work with you in the sense of having like a coach
Yes.
or
Like a
uh,
coach.
like a coach or a brand strategist or someone that work with you. I think that helps so much because it keeps you focused and
Yeah.
you feel less lonely in the process of creating that big vision.
Yeah.
And it's so necessary because entrepreneurship is loneliness. It's so like it's a path of loneliness. And so having just someone that not only have the expertise that you need to bring your vision to life, but also can really support the way you're going along the journey is very, very important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I love the way you think, Queen. I really do. It's very, very inspiring. So I can feel and see why your clients keep coming back and why you keep gaining so many clients because you are radiating exactly what, you are dropping with them and
Yeah.
they feel that. So, thank you for sharing and being so honest. Let me ask you this. Do you enjoy being an entrepreneur? What's your favorite thing about being an entrepreneur?
I think I didn't choose entrepreneurship. I think entrepreneurship chose me. Because I think it's something that, because I had this conversation with my mother, and she told me that when I was a kid, I like 3, 4 years, I would just pick things together and make up something. I will like, even in high school, they will ask me to do a letter, and I will go and find like the most beautiful paper and find the most beautiful pen. I've always been about putting things together and creating things together. So I don't think like entrepreneurship is something that I should try. I think it's just like part of me. And I
Yeah.
think entrepreneurship is a word that, mankind have created. But I think outside of entrepreneurship is just bringing things into existence. I'm all about that. It's like I'm bringing thoughts, bringing ideas into existence, and I'm helping other people bringing their ideas and thoughts into existence. And what I love the most about the work I do is just seeing that impact on people's lives,
Yeah.
knowing that someone I've helped created like a brand, and that brand is not only sustaining them financially speaking, creating like, wealth for them, but also like they're able to bring an idea into existence, and they can see that, oh my God, it was possible.
Yeah.
Just that result of them going through that transformation, for me, that is like so rewarding. I like, there's so much joy in that I really feel when I work with my clients.
Yes. And I absolutely love that. And, one of the things that I think is also really interesting about you is that you also have a thriving Instagram profile where you do showcase your fashions, your beauty, and you are always so inspirational on your Instagram.
Thank
Yes,
you.
of course. So, if you are not following Queen on Instagram, do so now. Do yourself a favor and do so now, because she is everything. How does having your Instagram platform sort of kind of help you when you're talking to clients as well? Because I would guess they could see like, oh, okay, she has like this thriving business. She's got her Instagram. You're basically walking in what you're preaching, right?
Exactly. And that is
Mhm.
my core value. Integrity is one of my core values, and authenticity as well. So I want people to feel like I'm not just here to brag. I'm not here to just tell you stories that I don't believe in, or to tell you things just to make you feel good. Mm-mm. I actually do them myself. I do
Yeah.
these things. I embrace them. This is what I truly believe in. So I'm not trying to sell your product. No, that's not my style. My style is authenticity. When you see my social media presence, you understand what I'm talking about, and everything makes sense because I'm not trying to be who I'm not on
Yeah.
social media. So one of the feedback that have come from people I've worked with, or even my current clients, is like, oh, like, I can see that spirit of excellence. And when I see you showing up and you tell me to show up, like it even motivates me to show up because I see you doing it. So I'm not just like telling you show up, like do this and that. I'm also doing it myself. So
Mhm.
they have more trust in the work I'm doing. And that is so important for me. That the people I work with, clients or brands or even corporations, like, trust is important. I want you to know that I'm here I'm here to be like really fully myself, but I'm
Yeah.
also here to speak the things I know and the things that I believe in. I'm not trying to now, talk about things that I actually don't believe in and it's just all fake. That's not my style.
Right.
I was not raised that way. So yeah.
Well, thank kudos to your parents for not raising you to be fake.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
listen, so shout out to mom and dad. Uh, I'm sure they're watching right now and they're so proud of their eldest daughter, you know. Tell me, Queen, what is your biggest dream for yourself?
That's such a good question. And I feel like my dreams change in terms of seasons. I'm always like, evolving and always having new dreams. But I think the greatest dream I have for myself is being able to change a narrative that I've always been settled about people that look like me.
Yeah.
And I believe in the power of news stories. So when I hear news stories of people that look like me, it gives me hope, it gives me courage, it gives me inspiration to dream higher, to dream bigger. And so if I'm able to now represent a new story, a new narrative, like when I think about a girl from Lagos, Nigeria, that grew up in France and had to learn the language, had to overcome so much. And today she's able to be this or do this. For me, that narrative is different from so many stories that I've heard of people
Yeah.
I've heard. So if someone, even one person is able to be like, because of the stories and because of this new narrative that you've created, I was able to dream bigger for myself. For me, that is just, it's just an incredible dream achieved, like for real.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you are living it. You are living the dream and also living up to your name, Queen. So yeah. So
Yeah.
and also too, you really do radiate ambition, as well. How would you describe ambition for yourself?
Mm. For myself, I love that when you make it for myself, because sometimes we have this definition of ambition and everyone just like vibe with it.
Yeah, yeah.
um for me, ambition is a calling. It's a
Mm.
calling. It's purpose. It's a calling. I don't think you necessarily choose to be ambitious. I think it's something that's inside of us. So it's a calling. It's something that you need to say yes to.
Yeah,
It's not something that just it exists, but you have to say yes to. You have to accept it and then act on it. So for
yeah,
me, it's a calling. It's a calling of excellence. It's a calling of always pushing forward. It's a calling of progress. It's a
yeah.
calling of thinking bigger than yourself. So I'm always thinking of, okay, the fact that I'm ambitious, or people say I'm too ambitious, is actually a compliment for me, because for me
Yes.
it means that I'm actually on the right path of my calling. It's a calling,
Yes.
because me saying yes to my calling means that not only I am sharing the value of ambition, but also people are inspired by that value. So it's a calling for me.
Yes, absolutely. Very, very inspiring and wise words, Queen. So thank you for sharing. I'm over here like taking notes because I was like, you should write a book, Queen. You really should, you know.
Oh, drop that into existence.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, 'cause you have such a great story.
Yeah.
And, I think the world needs even more storytellers, especially Black women storytellers. So,
Yes. I
go
have
ahead
that on
and
my
write the
list.
book. Write the book, Queen. Write the
Yes,
book, you
I
know.
will.
So is there any thing else that you'd like to share with this audience before we let you go?
Yes. So I think I just want to drop some words of encouragement, because even before going live, I was just sharing with you, Trish, that there's some days where you feel tired, you feel discouraged, you feel like, does this actually, is it worth it? Does it make
Yeah,
sense? You're just like,
yeah,
I'm so tired of that. I just want to encourage one entrepreneur over there, or not, even though you're not an entrepreneur, you're just watching this. I just want to encourage you to just keep moving. Just keep moving and keep becoming. Because sometimes we entrepreneurs, we get caught up into the doing, and doing, and we forgot like it's about becoming as well. Like become so
yeah,
that you can do more. So just encouraging you to maybe slow down the pace and try to become, try to just listen to your soul and what your soul is telling you to do or to be before even doing. But keep moving, don't give up, keep moving, and everything is going to make sense one day.
yeah. It absolutely will. And thank you so much for sharing your words with us. I think,
Or
I'm inspired, and I'm sure those who are watching as well are very inspired by that to keep going and to become, so and there's power in becoming, that's for
yeah,
sure. Yeah, there's
absolutely.
power in that.
Yeah.
Clarine says when we say yes to our calling, we say no to the distractions. Absolutely, Clarine.
That's a
Absolutely.
word. That's it.
Yes,
I'm grabbing that. I'm taking that.
yes, yes. It's so true, you know.
Yes.
Well, I want to thank you, Queen, for being on Too Ambitious today. And I know it's a little bit later in your day over there in Paris, but I appreciate you taking the time to be here and to drop some gems with us, you know. And as my dad always say, you keep being great. Just keep being great, you
You're
know.
being great. Thank you so much. It was such a great time. It was so fast, actually. I was just like, oh, okay.
I
It was
know,
so
I know.
fast. And I want to give you your flowers. Like, thank you for creating such an incredible platform. We never underestimate the small beginnings. And I'm speaking life into your project and things you're doing. Like, this is going to be bigger than what you think it is.
Wow.
And I want to give you that flowers and just encourage you to keep moving the way you're moving. And not to say good things, but I really do mean this. Like, really, this is going to be bigger than what you expected.
Oh my God. Well, thank you so much, Queen. And you are not going to make me cry on this show.
No,
You are
no.
not. So, but I thank you and I received that and I appreciate you joining the show. So I will see you next time, Queen. Everyone show some love to Queen. Follow her on LinkedIn, on
Thank you.
Instagram. You won't regret it. She's always dropping the same type of knowledge and even some new gems all the time. You're constantly inspired. So definitely follow her. And yeah, so I'll see you next time, Queen. So thank
Bye.
you. And thank you, everyone, for watching the show. I will see you next week for another episode of Too Ambitious, where I speak to extraordinary women of color entrepreneurs who are doing some really, really big things. So, and if you want to be a guest on the show, message me on LinkedIn or on Instagram if you want to be a guest on the show, or if you have anyone you would like to join my show as well. Go ahead and nominate them. Why not, right? Show that you care by nominating them to be on Too Ambitious. Anyway, thank you, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye now.